In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful rustic wreath ornaments using only single crochet. So easy, anyone can make them. Okay, so you're going to need a few materials, some wooden rings and beads, darning needle, some twine, some hot glue. I'm using a 6mm hook and some Signet Seriously Chunky. This is a super chunky or a super bulky weight yarn. So I'm going to start by putting a slip knot on my hook. Now this is quite a bit smaller a hook than you would normally use with this yarn, just to make sure you keep your stitches nice and tight. So all we're going to do is single crochet around the ring. Now if you haven't done this before, it might be a little bit tricky, but you'll soon get the hang of it. So you've got your slip knot on your hook, hook goes into the ring, pull up that loop, pull it round to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And you're going to keep doing this all the way around the ring. Keep your stitches fairly tight, and you're just going to keep going until your entire ring is completely covered. Now I forgot to mention at the beginning, you can work over your tail as you go, and then you can just snip that off. So we're going to finish off by joining with a slip stitch to this first single crochet, and then fasten off. You want to leave a little bit of a tail, long enough to thread onto a darning needle. Just pull that tight. Just going to trim that other tail. Okay, so we're going to pop this onto a darning needle, and then we're going to thread on one of my smaller beads onto the bottom. We're then going to tie a knot. I'm going to show you a little trick so that you can get your knot directly underneath that bead. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see. So I'm just going to tie a normal knot. In that loop, I'm going to put in the darning needle, and then you can use that to pull the knot down to the top of the bead. Once you've got it all the way down, you can take that out and then tighten that off. And then all I'm doing is cutting the bottom, leaving a small amount, and that yarn then unravels and it almost looks like a cute little tassel at the bottom there. Next we're going to make our hanging loop with some twine. So make this as long as you want it to be. I recommend you go for something that's a bit longer than you think you might need, so you can always trim it at the end, but you can't make it longer if you started with it too small. So we're going to thread this on to our darning needle. I'm threading through both of the tail ends, and then we've got this loop here. So we're then going to go to the ornament and look for the stitch that is directly on the top. If you don't have one, you can always shift the stitches around a little bit to make sure that one of the stitches is at the top. And then from back to front, we're going to go through, and then I'm going to loop this back through the loop and then pull that tight. This ensures that when you hang up your ornament, if you're putting it onto the tree, it's going to hang with the right side forward. And then simply going to add a couple of beads. Now if you want to, you could add a bit of hot glue inside the beads to kind of stick them in place. All you need to do then is just tie a knot in the end. And then we're going to make some little bows to go on the front of the wreath. So I'm just using the jute twine to tie a bow. Just like we did with the Granny Square Christmas trees. If you haven't seen that video yet, then I will link that for you in the description. Just pull those tight, then trim. You can stick your bow at the bottom or at the top, wherever you like, it's up to you. Just going to add a little bit of hot glue in there. Actually, that's probably maybe a bit too much hot glue. Then stick the bow on. Well, at least it won't fall off. There we go. If you would like to see more festive makes, then check out my Christmas crochet playlist. Bye bye now.